Okay, so on to the next track in Young Soul Saturdays. For those of you only joining us now, you can go one back and listen to Stephen Wilson, Holler from the Holler. Bit of a heavy video over there, but it's worthwhile going back and listening to it because it actually is quite important. Now, moving on, we're moving on to Moncrieff. I don't think we've ever reacted to Moncrieff on this channel. It's called Young Men. Young Men. I say young men. Oh, no, that's the British people. Anyway, this is live, Young Men Live. And just before we go on, just to reiterate what I said in my last video and what I've said in all the other videos, is that we still do have Harmony of Hearts series that we are completing. I will have mine completed by the middle of next week. I did admittedly take more than I needed to. A couple of people asked me to open up a form and take a few more, which amounted, that wasn't the only reason why it amounted in delay. There was a whole bunch of other factors in terms of doing other stuff and getting people set up and whatever else. Look, there was a delay, and that's I'm obviously managing it with you guys and letting you guys know, obviously via WhatsApp and whatever else. But you know, this will all get done. No one's actually panicking about it, but I obviously just want to make sure that I'm very clear in terms of what, you know, delivery. Just try and manage your expectations as best I can. Anyway, for those of you who do want to book the new campaign, in the new campaign, I'm not taking part of it. I'm only going to let you guys know when my limited edition series gets launched, which is going to be on the 15th of March. I'm wrapping up Harmony of Hearts first, and then I'm doing the 535 Awards series, and then we're launching my personal limited edition series, of which there were only 10 booking slots available and no more because of the amount of work that it's going to take, right? It's absolutely awesome, has a competition element to it as well. Once that booking form opens, you grab it as quickly as you can, and if it closes, it closes. 10, that's it. We do 10 and game over. So you'll be notified then. But if you do want to book the Monarchy of Queens campaign, which we're currently running at the moment, you can book it with Alex, Magnify, and Wolf. I won't be partaking in it, but those guys are absolutely excellent, and you guys can book with them. Links are all down in the description. Let's move on. Moncrieff Young Men Live. Let's go. On 17th of November 2021, one of my best friends went missing. Okay? Despite months of search, he was never found. It kills me every day to think of what it must have been going through, and still he felt unable to reach out and ask for help. Oi, some heavy topics today, Sonia. Some heavy topics today. I'm here for it. Let's go.
We never learned how to slow down, like all the boys in my hometown. We grew up on a calm down, and we drank cheap cider at high tide. But he moved on to the white line, using up all of his lifelines.
Nice way to describe that. He moved on to the white line, using up all of his lifelines. So he had lifelines. I mean, he had options, but he eventually felt like he ran out of options. So obviously this is speaking to suicide. I do like the fact that he's keeping the ocean sound in the background over there. It almost sounds, it gives like a bit of a static feel to it, which gives a bit of like an airy feel to it. I like that, but it's obviously heavy.
Picking fights, broken bones, never show he won't let it out now. Cause some cuts are too deep, are too big, are too heavy now. We hide behind a fake smile and cheap thrills. We're terrified to talk about ourselves, cause we don't wanna be the 1%. But we're not built to last, we're just young men. Don't tell me he had to.
I've spoken about this before with regards to why we are terrified to actually speak about ourselves, why we are terrified to sort of introspect. And you know, it's a human condition, unfortunately, where we don't want to look at, we don't want to look at our demons. We don't want to look at what's obviously the very thing that's tearing us apart, because it's terrifying. And the reason why it's terrifying is because you've created an idea of who you are as a person, right? And that's well ingrained in your brain. Like, this is who I am as a person. It's an idea that might not be real, it might not be true, right? And that's the thing about, you need to actually understand yourself absolutely fully. And understanding yourself fully means that, I'm a big believer that, firstly, you need to look after your health. You need to look after your physicality. You need to look after your body so that nobody can harm you, but you need to look after your mind so that you don't harm yourself. Both are equally important. But the thing about the not harming yourself aspect of it is in terms of like when you just cannot connect with your mind, when your mind is telling you something that you know is so innately true about yourself, where it cuts directly at the grain of what you think you are. And in order for you to change that, in order for you to move forward, you need to kill off the idea of who you are today, because that isn't working. And that is like literally akin to death, essentially. So when you have to kill off the idea of who you are today, that means that you are burying yourself spiritually, your soul. You're burying the idea where whatever you thought of yourself wasn't actually correct, right? Because you always look at it from a narcissistic perspective. It's like, oh, I am good, like I am good, I am moral, I am. And when you realize you're not any of those things, you need to kill off that person of who you are, and you need to build a new one, which is unbelievably difficult to do as well. Right? And that letting go is the hardest part. But once you actually have that mental switch and you happy, because it usually tends to build up. It's when that glass gets filled with water and it starts pouring over. That's when you say, well, I've got nothing else to lose, because everything else in my life is a complete travesty, right? So I've got nothing else to lose from turning this glass over, and whatever I had built inside that water, however invested I was in that person, needs to die so that I can build a new person, I can build a new persona, I can build a new mindset, right? And that's unbelievably difficult to do. Just speaking about sort of mindsets and psychology.
Don't tell me he had too much to lose. Don't tell me he was taken way too soon. Cause we don't wanna be the 1%, but we're not built to last. We're just young men. Yeah, yeah.
Beautiful song.
Oh, we're just young men. He lived Friday nights for his brothers, but he threw fists with his father. Guess he conquered his fear of the...
Again, see this thread where you see these kids that are going through this. It comes from abusive homes. It either comes from abusive homes or it comes from fatherless homes, stable fatherless homes, right? Because a child that comes from a stable home, 99% of the time, a child that comes from a stable home with a stable father, right, who is the essence of authority in the house, which actually teaches a child how to control his emotions and how to literally channel his emotions in the correct way, don't go that far, and they don't need to go that far, right, because they are taught something that's very valuable in life. Life's tough. Life's a tragedy. It's not going to get fucking easy for nobody. It's devastatingly difficult for absolutely everyone. It's always an uphill climb. All the time. That is life. If you think that you are deserved an easy life, you're a fucking moron. No one is deserved an easy life. You have to grind through hell, right, to get to a point where you can be happy with it. And there's value in that. There's value in that. If you didn't have to do that, you would have no value to your life, right? And often you would just grow up as a person with no utility. A lot of adversity is what actually builds you into the character, into a strong character. Right? Nothing should be deemed easy in life, and nothing should be easy in life, because if it was, there'd be no value. If it was easy to build a six-pack, right? Nobody would look at a six-pack as something awesome, right? The only reason we look at a chiseled body in the way that we do today is because a chiseled body is something to aspire to. Like, fuck, that took work. You know how hard it is to get a chiseled body like that. The same thing when you look at monuments and cathedrals and things from old, right? When you just sit back in awe and you're struck by it and you're like, fuck, how, this must have taken years to build, and it must have been a lot of work. Yes, it absolutely was, right? And that's what gives it its value. And the same thing happens with the human soul. The reason your life has value is because of the pain and adversity you go through. It builds character. Carry on.
With his father, guess he conquered his fear of the water. Picking fights, broken bones, never show, he won't let it out now. Cause some cuts are too deep, are too big, are too heavy now. We hide behind a fake smile and cheap thrills. We're terrified to talk about ourselves. Cause we don't wanna be the 1%. But we're not built to last, we're just young men. Don't tell me he had too much to lose. Don't tell me he was taken way too soon.
Don't take into account that also we're living in a world that it's not like you just disconnect. You think about yourself in a certain way and then you disconnect. But we're living in the modern era where there's also social media and it's all fake and superficial. So what happens is that you look at your life and then afterwards you juxtapose that to other people's lives on social media, which is all fake because everyone's putting their best foot forward. But when you pan out, their lives are in just as much turmoil, right? But they don't show you that. So what you are forever seeing is everybody else being happy and you're not, essentially, which can absolutely just shatters the soul. But it's fake, it's not real. These people don't live in the real world. It's all designed and constructed, right, to actually make other people envious. That's the whole idea of it, essentially, because you've become a brand, you've become something that you get sold as the product at the end of the day. You will always need something. You'll always need something else. Right? You'll need some cheap thrill or some cheap happiness or some cheap product or some cheap anything to distract you from your travesty instead of actually dealing with the travesty of your life right now. Right? It offers you a distraction, and it offers you a distraction in the most malevolent way possible. It's so pernicious because of the fact that it's not real. It's not real. That is not how real people live. Right? But it's literally, we're just looking at glossy fucking magazines now in digital form and wondering why we don't have the same lives. It's not because you don't have the same life, it's because they don't, right? They're just lying to you. Carry on.
He was taken way too soon, cause we don't wanna be the 1%. But we're not built to last, we're just young men. Yeah, yeah. Oh, we're just young men. Oh, oh,
beautiful voice.
Oh,
though.
oh, 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 oh,
You can feel the pain in this song, man.
oh, oh.
Feel the pain in the song, man.
Behind a fake smile, cheap thrills. We're terrified to talk about ourselves, cause we don't wanna be the 1%. But we're not built to last, we're just young men.
Sad. Beautiful piece of music, though. You could feel the pain in this. Wow. Shame, man. You have to dig deep for that. That's 100%, and it's always a terrifying place when you have to dig that deep. But anyway, you guys let me know what you think down below. Sorry for the long videos, but these are very important topics to talk about. It's things that people should actually be talking about, because this is reality. This is real life. At the end of the day, this is what real people go through, and it's this kind of music sadly doesn't mainstream very often. But anyway, I love you all. Please stay safe, peace, health. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.